guys? It's Kong Boy. Welcome back. Today I'm discussing on-chain NFT games. Most people, when they think of the metaverse, might picture something like this or this, but only a few years ago, most people thought this was far out into the future. But as technological development continues to accelerate, it won't be long before this new standard of games looks something like this. In the meantime, games are being developed that utilize blockchain technology in a variety of meaningful ways that offer unique functionality and full asset ownership for users. The founder of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, half-jokingly said that a World of Warcraft nerf was the reason he created the Ethereum blockchain. Okay, so what makes a game on-chain? While no game is entirely on-chain because blockchains are limited in how much data they can store, the most important part would definitely be the user assets being stored on-chain. User interfaces, game engines, and game logic would be far too much data and would be absurdly expensive to store on-chain, like billions of dollars. On the other hand, user assets like avatars and equipment are small enough, plus it's important to have them remain in the user's ownership. Many 3D games use Unity or Unreal Engine, for example, and also have game logic stored on centralized servers like Amazon Web Services. But there are plenty of simple 2D browser-based games that are much more on-chain. To understand where we are today, let's discuss how on-chain NFT games are evolving. Terra Nullius is not exactly a game, but it's the first implementation of interactive NFTs. This was the first NFT on Ethereum and it came out in 2015. It didn't even include a transfer function, and it allowed users to engrave messages on the blockchain through this contract that was only 10 lines of code. The next major milestone for NFT gaming was CryptoKitties. It was the first serious crypto game that gained mass adoption, and it was the first ever to have breeding mechanics. It came out on Ethereum in November of 2017, and no limit on the supply may have contributed to us seeing serious congestion on the Ethereum network for the very first time. Next up is Axie Infinity. It launched on Ethereum in March of 2018, and it was the first successful play-to-earn ecosystem which started the play-to-earn revolution. It's still very popular today. Players can battle, breed, and upgrade their Axies to earn SLP, Smooth Love Potion, which is a fungible crypto token. It was the first blockchain game to reach $1 billion in all-time sales, and it moved to their own chain called Ronin, which makes for cheaper and faster transactions. To understand on-chain NFT games, it's important to know how metaverses are using the blockchain. Sandbox started out in 2011 not as a crypto game, but then began making a blockchain-compatible metaverse. Users create, play, and earn from custom-built games. It's currently the most popular metaverse, but hasn't officially released, though they have had alpha stages and more coming up in the future. Sand is the governance token used for voting on the future of the platform, and landholders yield this token as well as be able to monetize game experiences built on their land. Players can purchase items from the marketplace, including avatars, land, equipment, and other assets that are all NFTs in the game. Landowners with games on their land can choose to make it free to play or pay to play. And the developers estimate that 64 players can play on one single plot at a time. Decentralized is another on-chain metaverse game, and it was the first virtual world on Ethereum, which came out in February of 2020. It operates using their utility token called Mana. Players can use it to buy land in their marketplace, and in April of 2021, the game moved to the Polygon blockchain to avoid the congestion and high gas fees which Ethereum began to experience due to its rise in popularity, with more applications being released on it. So now that we've looked at some of the more common examples of on-chain NFT games, let's look at some games that are pushing the boundaries when it comes to integrating with blockchain technology. This next one is an absolutely brilliant use of cryptography and blockchain technology. Dark Forest is an MMO real-time strategy space conquest game. Players expand their territory by conquering planets and mining resources, a lot like StarCraft, but simpler and decentralized. It's a browser-based game that's somewhere between 2D and 3D because it utilizes 2D planes with 3D assets. Players gather resources from planets to explore and conquer more planets, and only costs pennies to play because you only need to cover transaction fees. This was the first incomplete information game by using zero-knowledge proofs. Zero-knowledge proofs are an incredible cryptographic innovation only capable with blockchains, and it allows parties to verify information without revealing the details. It's like Where's Waldo, but you have to prove you know where he is without revealing his actual location. The Dark Forest game uses these proofs so players can prove that they explored a planet without revealing their locations to anyone, not even the game developers. This means rather than submitting the raw coordinates of their location, they send a hash to the contract that proves a move is valid while their activity remains private. This property helps create the fog of war mechanic, which makes it an incomplete information game like poker, as opposed to chess, which is a complete information game. The open source nature of this fairly simple game allows anyone to create plugins or mods for the game, or make their own private version they can play with friends. Overall, Dark Forest is a brilliant use of in-game cryptography, where the code that runs the game is public and decentralized, but uses smart contracts to verify proofs and keep player locations private. EtherOryx is another game with on-chain mechanics. Oryx train, pillage, farm, and raid, and players train their Oryx to gain experience and level up for better loot and better chance at raids. Levels and other stats are recorded in the metadata of the NFT on the blockchain, and the image of the Orc changes as they are upgraded. Upgraded weapons have a better chance for success at raids. Avagachi is a gamified, decentralized finance app with digital pets, sort of like Tamagotchi from the early 2000s. They received a grant from the Aave Foundation, but are not an official project of the DeFi app. Their utility token Ghost is used for yield farming and governance over the DAO. Players can stake to earn Friends token, which allows them to claim wearables, which increase the Avagachi's rarity and potential to earn. Portals contain a random selection of these gotchis with different rarity and traits, which players can only select one to draw out of the portal. They have to use tokens from the Aave protocol and insert them into the Avagachi, which is known as the Spirit Force, and that keeps them alive. Pool Together is an on-chain savings game. It was the first game to integrate with Chainlink's VRF, verifiable randomness function, and it works by everyone pooling their money and earning interest on it over the course of a week, and at the end of the week, one person wins all of the interest. No one loses. Now let's talk about AAA on-chain games. AAA games are games with high budgets and experienced teams making the game from scratch. Star Atlas is a prime example of this. It's going to be on the Solana blockchain, and it's an online grand strategy space game with their utility token Atlas for their in-game economy. It's a serverless MMORPG using Unreal Engine 5 Nanite for cinematic quality video game visuals. It will have amazing spaceflight simulations and allow players to manually pilot ships in the universe. This game would be insane if they deliver successfully and live up to the hype, even if it takes years, but we'll have to see. Illuvium is an open world game with the full in-game economy where players can play to earn, or they say fight for ETH, and they have an auto battler system similar to Pokemon with creatures that are called Illuvials. Next, we have a couple examples of on-chain card games. One is Gods Unchained, and it's on the Ethereum Layer 2 Immutable X. It's a free-to-play card game where everyone starts out with 70 cards from the welcome set. It also features competitive mode with weekly ranked tournaments where players can earn Flux rewards to upgrade their cards. Players can unlock more cards by winning PvP battles, and they also have an in-game marketplace. There's also Sorare, which is a free-to-play NFT card game with soccer and baseball. Players compete against others by earning points based on players' real-life performances. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you later.